Welcome back, everyone. This is Jerod Leupold with this amazing group of mutant detectives. We are running through part two of the Nation of Malice. Working title right now. Not quite sure if we're going to stick with that one or National Malice, Malice Nation. Maybe Malice Nation might be a better way to go with it. And let's take a look and say hi to the people that are going to be our fearless detectives today. Starting in the upper left-hand corner for me is Eric Burchett, who is playing Brickhouse. Tell me something a little bit different about Brickhouse. What makes us know that he's a mutant, and remind us where he carries his badge.
Uh, Brickhouse is a very lanky-looking human, uh, except that he has no pupils or anything, just white eyes that he usually hides with aviator sunglasses. Um, keeps his badge on his belt, but sort of behind his suit jacket, so if he needs to, he can bring the suit jacket back and show the badge. Um, did he get puked on this morning? Was that this morning?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That was yesterday. Yesterday
That was
afternoon,
a
he
whole
got
nother
puked
day.
on. Yeah.
Well, you know what? This day's going great so far.
I also love
Today's
the
one.
the badge on the belt is a peak Caruso. They could love it.
Yeah.
All right. Next we have Rachel Burchett playing Night Nurse. Tell me, how do we know that Night Nurse is a mutant? What is your specialty within the force? Forgot to mention that. I believe Brickhouse is a resident homicide detective. Uh, Night Nurse, go for it.
You can tell that Night Nurse is a mutant because she is wildly pale. Like you've never seen anybody as pale as this woman. Um, and she has like dark circles under her eyes and like sunken cheeks, and just looks like death formed up. Like a skeleton with skin on. She has very long dark hair and is also just, like tall and skinny, like very like there is no fat on this person. There's no muscle on this person. She is just like skin and bones. She is a forensic scientist on the squad and likes to wear her badge on her hip as well on her back.
Perfect. All right. You've told that description a couple different times, and this is really the first time I finally got it, where like you are definitely like this gaunt, like this gloomy specter person who just kind of roams around the background collecting evidence. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we've got Jordan playing the Hound. Please tell us, what mutant attributes do you have? What is your specialty on the force, and how do you show your badge?
Yeah, so as far as his mutant attributes, he's a short, rather stocky gentleman who, for the most part, looks normal, but if he's not wearing a hat, you'll notice that he has brown and white spotted fur instead of hair on his head. Um, Past that, he is a robbery specialist who carries his badge on a lanyard around his neck where he can tuck it behind a jacket or pull it out as needed.
Perfect. And then finally we get down to Aaron playing Weaver this evening. You already changed it. That's awesome. Tell us, what denotes Weaver as being a mutant? What is your specialty, and where do you keep your badge?
Yeah, Weaver is always dressed just on the edge of acceptability for the Force. Wears a leather jacket over his rest of his attire. Has a little leather strap around his neck, and his badge displayed hanging in front of him like that. Sometimes he can tuck it into his jacket pocket when he needs to help bring some calm, maybe not necessarily flash that badge in certain situations. His specialty is juvenile justice system and does a lot of community outreach kind of work. Um, he always wears long sleeves to hide spinnerets that are on the underside of his wrists near his palms. But even though he keeps that sort of covered up, he's got unnaturally long fingers and toes that he tries to kind of keep folded out of sight.
We haven't gotten to do a lot of time with Weaver, so it's exciting to see them working with the rest of the group here. Okay, our detectives have already talked about what our next steps are going to be for the case, and let's start with going to let's do Paradise Found first. So that is going to be uh, Brickhouse in the Hound. I assume that you just check out one of the cruisers to go on down. Let's see now. Now that we have a map, let's take a look at it here. Um, Now it's not going to be listed on the map here, but for this map is made up specifically for the second adventure that we're doing right now called the Primary Hunting Ground. But this is going to be in the nest. It's going to be in that gray part of the city in the ones, but it's going to be just on the outskirts of it. Okay, it's going to be very close to the river where Paradise Found is at. And if you remember, you've been to Paradise Found before, and it is, let's see, today is Wednesday at noon. Pretty light crowd. Remember, the decor is a vampire in hell type of decor, and the owner of the bar, Reese, pretty prominent in the mutant community, and he's also the bartender for the most of the time. And he wears fake those plastic devil horns and has a cape on, and also with those really short devil forks as he serves on there. Um, Reese clocks you guys coming into Paradise Found right away. It's still early. Business really hasn't picked up as of yet. Just maybe a couple morning shifters there. Now you think um, Reese speaks up, goes like, "Hmm, I I was saddened to hear that one of my regulars needed to go to jail. There was something always off by that Zeb, so I'm glad he's out of here at least."
Yes. Good old Zeb. Zeb Hornsby. Yes.
He's quite the disturbed man. So how can I help out? The city tri-state's finest.
Reese, what do you know about Bambi?
Oh, she's an absolute icon. You know that she comes and does some karaoke some nights? Oh, she's such a gem. She was so fabulous
She's
20 years
dead.
ago when she was in her
Reese,
prime.
Reese, she's dead.
What? When did this happen? I would have heard.
And whoever killed her was almost certainly controlled. What do you know about that?
What? Give me one moment.
No?
Reese moves towards the back a little bit and he just goes like, "Jonathan, to the bar." He comes back out and he just ushers you guys to come back up to his office.
All
And
right.
like you're walking by, um, and it's like, fake, like painted on flames onto the wall as you go up there. Smells of stale appletinis that have been spilled all around the floor, probably.
Ugh.
As he ushers, he opens the door and offers you in, and you see in there's lots of lava lamps and uh, beanbag chairs. And he offers you a seat as he plops down on one of the biggest ones. He's like, "Tell me everything."
I'll stand. I
Hound,
also want to look at.
what do you do?
You know what? Since he's already playing bad cop, I'll curl up on a beanbag chair. Yeah.
It's like,
Um, and just to verify,
yeah.
we found Bambi yesterday. Or did we find her this morning?
That was this morning, right? Yeah, that was at 4 a.m. this morning. So it's about 2 p.m. right now.
Got it. So all the stuff with Boy Scout was this morning. Still.
Hmm.
Great. So we think, from what he said, things that happened to Bambi happened last night, like 12 hours ago.
Yes.
Reese, where were you last night?
I was here. Tuesday nights is it is share night here.
And how late were you here?
Oh, I had an early night, so I was in bed probably around 3 a.m.
What time did you leave the bar?
Probably about 2:30 or so. Just enough to get the doors closed and left after that.
Do you have cameras in the bar?
Yes, we've had to. I don't like to keep them. Now there are noticeable blind spots because people must still have their secrets, mind you.
Sure,
But
but you have
but the entranceway is, yes, very much.
where you left, that would be on camera.
Yes, of course.
I mean, you need to see that if I can before we go.
Yes, of course.
And you think you got home at 3 a.m.?
Yes, it's about how long it takes.
What neighborhood do you live in?
Well,
Which
I live
neighborhood?
here. I live here in the nests.
You live in the Nets. Can anybody verify what time you got home? Did you stop anyway on the way? Did you see anybody on the way?
No, no. But you do remember from the forensics that you've done so far on Bambi's body that you've got to pin the time of her death around 11 p.m.
So probably after it. Can I make Jordan? If you have something, jump in.
Yeah.
Sorry. I want to do a anamorphology check, and I want to know if someone could influence somebody earlier, and that how long that would last. Like if you're to influence somebody at 10 p.m., would they be able to do something at 11 p.m.?
Question. And you're so depending on what sort of power that they're using, but you've got anamorphology, so you would know this. You're specifically thinking about possession because you know that's what's been used so far. You have to have um, contact, like eye to eye contact, or you have to have visual contact of your target. Otherwise, it breaks.
Okay. Like the
So,
whole time?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Reese doesn't have a Caesar cut, does he?
No. He's shaved bald.
Okay.
Reese, not that you're a prime suspect or anything, but we do have to just make clear: were there any regulars who closed out the bar the other night? Anyone who could verify you were here between a certain time period?
Oh, sure. I think, let's see now. All right, give me one moment now. I'm going to take a look at the list here. Um, yes. Gustavo. Gustavo closed the night. He does an exceptional share.
And just to be clear, what time did you arrive at work?
About 10 a.m.
And you're here all day.
Yes.
And tapes will prove that.
Yeah, of course.
Can I do a bullshit detector? Just what? How do I think he's being straight?
Yeah, you're not getting any sort of ping on him. It really seems like he is an open book, and he seems genuinely distressed that something would happen to Servid. He's like, we must think of our people. I will get the word out, and we'll have a vigil tonight. She meant so much to the community. She's an icon.
That is a really good idea.
Do you know of anyone else who, it's not public knowledge, but who would have the ability to control someone? Anyone talk in your bar? Any rumors?
Uh, as much as I want to help you out, officer, I feel like I can't also betray any trust that I've built up. Now, I understand this is a very serious case, and I'm not hiding anything or anyone. Um, but I would feel guilty of something if I pointed my finger at anyone in particular, based on no knowledge. So I'm sorry, I cannot help you. And switch. Okay. Uh, so you guys are thinking about trying to hunt down Otto. He's a vagrant, so that's going to be one of the hard parts. Is how are you going to find him?
Good question.
Oh, yeah, you are on mute. Although I love seeing, I cannot wait to find out what this means.
I was gonna take my badge and tuck it in the pocket of my jacket.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure,
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah. Uh, so I've got charm, community relations, and streetwise. So I was just gonna go start working around that part of town, in the boroughs and just sort of asking around, saying we're looking for Otto. Just think he might be in some trouble, and we want to try to get him some help. Knowing the community's going to rally around, try to work that angle. Because I
Okay,
don't know that he's done anything wrong at this point.
right.
I assist if he needs assistance. I have what was the skill I was just looking at? Where is it?
I'm gonna throw
Oh,
this out
never mind.
there.
I don't have that.
I'm gonna throw this out there because it. So I try hard to um get make sure um every skill gets its due, right? Um, do either of you have traffic analysis?
I
Okay.
don't know that any of us do. I think that was the one where maybe
I was
anyone does.
I was gonna ask about electronic surveillance, and then I realized I didn't actually have it. I was looking at the wrong line because I was wondering about if there like a CCTV situation in this town.
Mm,
We analyzed it. We could on it
Jordan, I
somewhere,
think
but I
you
don't
do.
have that skill. I don't know if you have that skill, Weaver.
No,
Electronic
no,
surveillance.
I don't.
Never mind then.
Jordan's secondary character does, however. Duano, I don't even think the gangs and narcotics one. We haven't even met him or her yet. That we haven't even met them yet. So
mm-mm. Nope, not yet.
okay.
Okay. All right. So what you can do is like there's a couple different things you could try and check around about. Um, if you don't figure out a good skill or that you can use, you can just get on the streets and just try and look for a vagrant, which you can. It will take the whole time slot though, which is fine.
Yeah,
This is
I
part of
don't.
your job, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, community relations, charm, streetwise. But if he doesn't want to be found, he probably won't be able to be found. So I'll just, yeah, maybe go look at the shelters and soup kitchens and I don't know. What do you think, Night Nurse?
When does our does it involve pools come in?
When do your
That only
pools
in
come in?
combat situations? Yeah,
Uh,
the categories like medical and things like that.
I mean, if you want to use those skills for anything, just let me know.
I was wondering about if infiltrate would be a way to use to appeal to the other people who are living on the street, like the other unhoused folks, to be.
Sure.
I
This
recognize
one,
it's for undercover work. To do undercover, we just want to get information.
sure. This is all just skill stuff. Okay. Those action skills are for doing action stuff, usually versus someone else. So that's not going to come into place here, though. Good question. We're still working through the system, trying to figure out how it works, right? But hitting up the homeless shelters first and trying to go from there. Great idea. Okay. So you just hit the streets. You do some old fashioned knocking on doors to see what you can find, right? Um, so you check around and you're like, you finally get to one that um, where you can find that will even take mutants, right? Says, I mean, majority of the people that are going to be homeless are also mutants, but they're not going to be accepted everywhere that you go. You got to find special churches that will do that. Um, you find a Catholic church, we'll say, um, kind of maybe in Steel City that you're checking in because it's probably one of the ones nearest um, to the station, and you're just checking. And you're like, okay, hey, we're looking for it. It's like Otto. You give the description. Well, what description do you give, like of who you're looking for?
We must have something on file for him, right? I don't know that
Yeah,
I've ever worked with him directly. Yeah, I'll just give whatever details we have. If he's ever been
We
arrested
have a
or
photo.
detained, we have a picture, maybe show his mugshot, if we have to pull that out,
you do.
if he's
You do.
never
You
been arrested.
yeah, because he's been arrested a couple different times. Um, a hulking figure, usually wearing a towel tied underneath their neck that acts as their cape. Jean shorts, probably stands around 6'3", just built like a Mack truck. The mutations, however, did not treat him very well. Kind of elongated nose that comes out about 4 inches or so on there, and also kind of some Mickey Mouse ears, where one of the ears has been badly shredded. Eyes kind of receded with some whiskers on his face. So yeah, you take the picture and you show it out, and like, oh, oh yeah, Otto. Yeah, he comes by for food every once in a while. Never stays though. Never stays. Uh, that poor sod always just stinks. Just absolutely reeks.
You think he's he ever dirty? Like he's been hanging out at a sleeping in a park, or maybe smells kind of a little sewage? Any any distinctive smell or dirt on him? I mean, we all, King Rat, right? We all know he tends to hang out with small mammals. Might find at a park or in the
Here,
sewers.
what?
Any
What do
if you had to guess based on what you've smelled and seen with him?
Okay, you're naked. No, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. No, you gotta go. You gotta
As
leave.
good of an option as any.
Okay, I love you very much, but you can never come in here naked.
Those. I don't think we
Yeah,
have to go
not
in the
quite sure.
sewers, do you?
It tells you it's like, oh no, he smells like the bad stuff. Smells like he's been rolling around in it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, so I guess that's the question, right? Is where do we think he would be hanging out in this area? Especially if he lives down in the sewers, right? That would be much harder. Are there is there a
Do we have
wastewater?
any contact with the sanitation or staff in the sanitation department?
Okay. Yeah, you reach out to the sanitation department, and you just kind of getting you're just calling the sanitation results and just in a bored sounding woman answering the phone. She advises that you need to fill out request forms 223B, and they can get back to you. Get back to them in about 24 hours.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess do we do that, I suppose, and then just keep trying the streets to find out more?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Do any of
Um,
you have a skill that maybe you want to look at?
well, you got
So I have
bureaucracy, right?
bureaucracy. Does that help?
Perfect.
As these are
Uh,
skills, I was like, wait a minute. I did.
warmed over death takes the phone over.
May
You
not have social skills, but I do know to work the system.
you quickly inform the woman that that form has been out of date for a couple months, and you can quickly then speak to their manager. You do get a manager on the line. He's like, "Yep, manager, how can I help you?"
We need some access to information regarding the sewers, and uh, the forms that we were told to fill out are long out of date.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry
We
about
need
that.
the information much more quickly than what was allowed.
Sorry, sorry. We'll get those new forms figured out here. What can I do for you?
Were we looking? This is aside. Were we looking for like layout of the sewers, or to talk to somebody and ask where I people who
Yeah, I mean, my guess is
interested
they
in
probably
live
run
there?
into this guy from time to time when they're doing maintenance or on water feed, water
Right.
sheds or whatever. I mean, wherever he is, they probably see him from time to time.
So are we looking to like request any reports that have been made? Like, do you think people file reports when they see a person down in the sewers who's not supposed to be down there?
They probably know. I mean, they probably talk about the mutant who lives in the sewers, right? I mean, just maybe
Sure.
just ask
So
them
we
if they
more
have
want to like interview somebody.
keep it informal, right? Just ask him where King Rat lives.
Uh, we're actually looking for a person that we believe spent some time down in the sewer um, due to a lack of housing and an affinity for rats.
Ah,
Don't suppose you've
well,
heard your work
y-
talk about him.
yeah, no, we haven't seen anybody, but we are having a trouble area. There's a spot over on kind of the south side of the Steel City on there, with the sewers. We're having trouble getting to a certain area that just there's get some vermin down there, some uncharacteristically aggressive. We're just waiting for the city animal handling to get over there to clear out the area so we can do some work there. And he gives you like an address area, like to the nearest manhole cover there.
Sure. Well, thank you. This has been actually very informative.
Yeah.
So I will give you some time to work your forms before I report them to the board.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Like,
What do you think? Do we get someone from animal control to take along with us, or do we not want to?
I'm gonna do a quick
I can't
timeout and I'll
imagine
be
them.
right back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So do we want to try to bring someone from animal control along with us, or do we just want to go for it and try to talk to him without threat, as non-threatening as possible?
Maybe just want to go for it as non-threatening as possible. I'm trying to see if I have any skills because there's no like animal skill.
Yeah, there's
Nope,
not an
I
animal
got nothing.
other than animal control. Yeah. Huh.
But I think even just like you're looking for reassurance and streetwise, I think showing up with a official person besides the cops, like the cops are already going to be enough to be stressful. So, rather than take along somebody who's going to affect his precious rats, we should just go. But
I mean,
no, if we encounter any that have diseases, I have the ability to cure disease. I could maybe, I don't know how disease immunity works, but in theory, it makes us immune. We don't know what the disease is. So, I have cure disease. So, if we get
yeah.
bit and some type of rat disease, got us.
All right. You guys have figured out
Great
through the
animal.
bureaucracy. I'm going to switch back to the bar. Do you guys have any more questions for Reese?
I think that a vigil is a really good idea.
Oh, okay.
Is that something that you're willing to organize?
Yes, we've lost too many. We've lost too many. I'd be more than happy to organize a vigil. We'll get the word out. There may not be many of us that are capable, but we'll get the word out and we'll have hundreds here by nightfall.
And where are you gonna do it here in the bar or do it like on the street?
Well, let's see now. I think probably the closest open spot, the preserve's not too far away. So we might hold it there. Which is a park across the way.
Right.
Across the
Where
river, I should say.
I didn't tell him, but that's where we think the murder happened. Right. And then they dumped her body in the nest. Correct?
That's what you think, yep.
If you hear anything, let me know. You have my number.
Of course. Of course. Do you guys know what your next steps are going to be, or do you need me to switch over?
I want to talk to the Hounded once we get back in the squad car.
Okay, sounds good. You guys could go to the secret room if you want to talk.
Yeah.
Okay, and then boom, swap. Okay, Night Nurse and Weaver.
Yep.
Back to you.
I think
Okay, I like this because I'm going to fast forward real quick while they're not in here, and I assume you guys go to the sewer, right?
Yep. And we're not going to bother trying to bring anyone from animal control or anything like that. We're going to try to keep it as low
Yeah.
stress as possible.
Okay.
While we're on our way, can we just clarify? I know you're going to do most of the talking because you're far more streetwise. But what information are we trying to get from Otto specifically? Like, what questions do you intend to ask?
He's the only one that we're aware of in town who can control mammals to this degree. And what I saw when I went into the murder victim, the murdered woman's apartment, was a house full of animals ripping apart photographs, paper, any evidence or pictures of who she might have been with or what she might have been doing. Got a little bit that I was able to recover from answering machine. But other than that, everything else was destroyed. It can't be the raccoons broke into her house on their own. So we just need to
I
know.
was just like trying to blink. Like, what do we want to get from him? Also,
Yeah,
if he is a murderer, we want to have like backup outside the sewer. Like, we don't need to have him come in with us or have animal control come in with us. But do we need backup on hand? He
Yeah,
is a
now that
straight up
you mention,
murderer.
yeah. I mean,
What he
but
can do?
well, we know that Chavez killed her, but he was controlled, and Otto can't do the mental control. So what happened is my working theory is that someone from the makeup corporation is hiring mutants to kill their client so that it doesn't look like they did it.
Sure. Is there a chance that Otto was also controlled to make his animals go destroy evidence?
Oh yeah, possibly.
Doesn't seem like somebody would probably have the kinds of mental shields to prevent that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to know about backup. If we thought he was a murderer, we probably want backup.
Well,
I
who's
think
gonna call
if
for
anything,
backup? Unfortunately,
I don't think we necessarily need it. I don't think Otto's dangerous.
I think not as well. That would be my instinct, but
Yeah, we'll let people know where we're going.
Night nurse, night nurse. This is Brickhouse. We're heading back to base. Over. Shh.
Roger.
Supposed to say over. Over. Shh.
Over. I did it at the same time while you saw the button, so you didn't even hear me say over.
all right, you guys get to the manhole
Then
cover.
walkie-talkie. Why don't you just use a cell phone? Over.
Because I think it's like 1995 or something, isn't it? Over.
Oh,
Oh, is it?
it's 2020.
2020. Oh, I thought for some reason like in the 90s still. Okay, sorry.
I mean, that's the thing though too. I can set it anywhere in the past 20 years is fine. Like it's all relatively the same. Okay. All right. You guys get to the manhole cover. It's tough, but you manage to wrench it open. You drop down into the sewer, and it does look and feel a little bit like it's somewhat dammed up. It's a little bit deeper here. If you're wearing your nice shoes, it's the sewage is up past the ankles at this point. You get to a point.
Or even you going sewer. I don't even think I need to say preparedness. I'm wearing like straight up knee high combo
Yeah,
boots. Like
yeah, yeah. You don't need a preparedness. You know you're going to the sewers. You can grab.
maybe even just waders. I'm like all the way to waders.
Yep,
Like
that's fine.
overalls,
I'm
overalls that just go all the way up.
I,
I'm
I'm
not
not
messing with
loving
this.
I'm not loving rats. I'm taking my shoes off and I'm going to climb along the roof with my superpower of I can climb Spider-Man
Oh,
style.
yeah, okay.
So my long fingers and my creepily long what do you call them? Fingers on my feet there. I'll use my toe fingers to
Oh,
help me
gross!
cling to
Not two
I
fingers.
didn't say this. I didn't say it was pretty. I didn't say it was a pretty. Yeah, this was. I did not win the lottery on the toe part. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna use my super long. What do you call it? And I'm like toes. Like I don't understand why this is a hard word.
Okay,
Toe fingers.
night
I want
nurse
words.
sloshing through the stuff, dead center in the aisle. You're on the ceiling, climbing your way. Okay. You get to a spot where you have to kind of press through, pushing some stuff around. You hear squeaking, kind of echoing around you, but nothing's attacking you. You round a corner to find a central processing junction with a handful of pipes strategically blocked to keep the area mostly dry on the inside and detritus free. There's signs of a squatter. Signs of a squatter include a cot with some questionable stains on it, drawings in crayon adorn the walls, and an old broken handheld Nintendo Game Boy is on the bed, next to a small mountain of old TV guides sit next to the cot. I need both of you to do a sense danger check. I'm not going to tell you what the number is you have to hit.
So I have, for example, a sense trouble. Is that it? Of 6.
Let me check. It's one of your action skills. Sense trouble. Yep.
Oh, yep, sense trouble. And so how do we do that? We just roll a 6-sider.
Yep. Oh, you have nothing in it. Oh wait, no, that's your other
I
character.
have a pool of so I can roll up to 2 dice, or I get to roll 1 automatically plus an additional 2.
No, you roll 1 die. Period. You always roll just 1 die, and before you roll it, you say how many numbers you want to use out of your pool to add plus X. X is whatever you take out of your pool.
Okay.
And we
Um,
and we discovered last time that a lot of these points they regenerate a lot faster than we originally thought.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna use both mine that are in my pool. Bring 2 to my roll.
Okay.
A 5.
9.
9 and 5. Okay. You are Weaver. You are not surprised, probably because you almost bump into him about eye level. A large figure detaches themselves from the ceiling of the sewers and lunges at Night Nurse that's trying to slog through. He's attacking the detective with a rusty scimitar. He screeches out, he's, "You won't take my game!" Otto's appearance is shocking even to the most callous soul. Oh, he stands 6'6", not 6'4", 6'6" with rippling muscles, only wearing a pair of jean shorts. Covered in gray fur, a large rat nose protrudes from his face, as well as 2 comically large mouse ears. One of them has been torn quite badly, is scarred over. A ratty towel is tied underneath his chin, affecting a rose and dirt soiled cape. His voice tends to squeak, and his voice often repeats himself. All right. You are surprised, Night Nurse, so you don't get an action. I am going to do initiative. Okay. Okay. Um,
And that's a
so I've got
D6.
initiative, and I'm gonna attack with my Night Nurse with my sword.
Okay. Remind me how I do this.
Okay, so well, you don't do anything. You get punched in the face is what happens. That's what you do. Um, well, you just don't get an action this turn. You're surprised. You don't do anything. Okay. All right. So I need the stats for Otto. There we go. Okay, 8. So D6 plus 8. I'm gonna fight. I got an 11.
8.
What are you doing,
Use
Weaver?
that information.
Uh, wait. So how do I
Excuse
do initiative? Do I roll a D6? Is that what it
So
is?
it's D6 plus whatever your current pool is for the action you're going to do. Like I added plus 8 because I'm going to do a scuffling thing, and I've got 8 points in my pool for scuffling. Like
Okay.
if you want to use one of your powers, a skill, or whatever that has a point in it, you D6 plus whatever your current pool is.
I'm at 13.
Okay, so here's what you see. Um, yeah, Otto is launching from off the ceiling, coming down to the scimitar to slash at Night Nurse. However, you have first action. What are you gonna do?
I am going to hit him with some webbing, the third restraints, where I spray them with a wide arc of webbing, which keeps him immobilized for 2 hours for every 2 webbing points I spend. So I'm just going to throw 2 webbing points. I don't want to keep him here for days. It looks like I have to do a successful shooting test.
Oh, okay.
And then he can attempt to break out, which, if he's that strong, he might be able to. So,
Yeah, this dude is ripped. But yeah, okay. Yeah, great. So he's in mid fall, and you're just like, "Eh."
okay.
So he is very athletic. So that automatically means you know this that the target number you're trying to get is a 4.
Okay. Um, I really don't want him to hit Niners. I'm gonna put 2 points into it.
Okay.
and not, and I spend those out of my shooting, right? Or do I just my shooting is 4.
Okay.
So do I spend those 4 points to help this roll? My
Well, I mean,
shooting.
what roll would you normally make to use your superpower? It'd be your superpower pool points, wouldn't it?
It is, but I have to do a successful shooting test to hit
Oh,
him
to
with
make
my
it happen.
weapon.
Yeah, so it's shooting then. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so knowing that, I'd probably go back and sort of retrofit. I wouldn't have 8 in scuffling and 4 in shooting. I would probably switch that around a little bit, but that's okay.
That's fine.
So I'll
Hey, we're new to making this. Go ahead and make that change right now. That's totally cool.
Okay, yeah, I'll just balance them out a little bit, make them 6 and 6 rather than 8 and 4.
Okay.
And I'll
Can you
spend
make
2 of
him
those
8 and
points.
4 so that makes your initiative right? Makes your initiative legit for this one?
The initiative didn't change because the webbing was at an 8.
Okay.
So I use that, right? So for initiative, I'd use my webbing since I'm using my webbing. But to
You'd
be
use
successful with
shooting.
my webbing, I have to use shooting.
You'd have to use shooting first, though, wouldn't you, to hit?
Well, it just depends on how you want initiative to work.
Yeah. I think in the book it is shooting. So just change it over to 8.
Okay.
Dump that in. You got a 6, so you hit. And then you
Okay.
spent 2 points out of your superpower pool to bind
Yes.
him
Yep.
for an hour. Is that right?
2 hours
2 hours.
for 2 points.
Okay.
Yeah, keeps them immobilized for a cost of 2 webbing points for every 2 hours you want the webbing to retain its strength. Hitting a moving target with your webbing requires successful shooting. I pay 2 points whether I hit him or not. Now, a web subject can make an athletics or strength test to get free with a difficulty equal to 4 plus my webbing pool as of the moment I began to spin the restraint webbing. So it is currently a 12. He has to get a strength or athletics of 12 to break free.
Ooh, okay. I
That's a
mean,
pretty
he's
tough
definitely
one.
going to try, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Get to do my moves real quick. Do, 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 do. Thank you for your patience.
We've never used this before, so this is.
Yeah, this is great.
Does anybody have the rule book link close that they could put in the chat or something?
It is. Yeah, I can get it for you.
I'm just gonna. I keep forgetting to bookmark it. I apologize.
I thought it was pinned.
It is somewhere. Did you get it on there? Yeah. Thank you, Jordan.
It's pinned
Boom.
and I just shared it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So Otto has. All right. So now it's Otto's turn, but he's just been squished up against the wall with webbing. I have big athletic points. Athletic and scuffling. Those are my deals. Okay, let's go. He needs a 12.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. I'm going to spend all of them, I guess. 6. Got a 14.
Yep.
Okay. However, that was every single point he had in athletics. And I assume that takes his whole turn, right? So he rips off the wall, landing into the sewer with his sword. That was his turn. So now we go back to the top of this next round. All right. He is going to attack. Well, who would be closer? I think Night Nurse will probably be closer. So I'm going to use trying to do my sword attack. I have a 9 on my initiative. What are you guys going to do?
He's still okay. He ripped all that free. I'm just gonna hit him again, I guess. Or try to.
Okay. Now your
Try to
target number.
reason. Say, we are not here to hurt you. We are not here to hurt your rats. We are not here to threaten you. We just want to talk.
Okay, you want to talk? Okay. All right. Roll your
We can
initiative, Weaver. And do you plan on doing an action, or do you just plan on saying that?
just plan on saying that.
Okay. Think about what kind of skill you might want to use.
Uh-huh.
So I'm at a 7.
Okay. So right now I'm going first. Well, actually, words will go first. If you don't plan on doing any sort of action, you can say something. That's fine.
Go for it, Night Nurse. Talk him down.
Hmm.
Oh gosh, I don't think you want me to be the one to talk him down. I was trying to just be like, stop attacking. We just need information. That was as much for you as for him, Weaver,
Um,
because you are the one who can talk. You are the streetwise. What was the other skill?
all right.
And
Well, I'm going
reassuring
first.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you yell out, we're just here to fight. I get to go first. You kind of get the sense that Otto's having fun as he lunges forward with his sword. I am going to do just a d6 plus, whoops, d6 plus 3. Let's make it an automatic hit. All right. Oh, I got a 5, so I barely hit. All right, so that brings me down to 5. And I'm using a sword, which is d6 plus 1. Oh, he
How much
slashes you
damage
for
you're doing?
7 points of damage.
Cool.
And he's
And
like,
I was
"Woof."
already down, unless we had taken time to heal up or get something. I don't know what that is in this.
Yeah, well, Night Nurse wasn't a part of the last adventure really except for the last part, right? So your health would all
Okay.
be all the way back up.
Okay. I can't remember
It,
where I lost that health.
in fact, all of your points would be, you didn't lose it at the end of last session.
Okay. Okay, then I have 1 left.
Yeah, you're not down yet.
So a -3.
As Auto slashes like, it's out of my kingdom.
All right. I guess I'm next.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna do the webbing again.
Okay.
And I will
So I've used all
bring.
my athletics, which means the target number is down to 3 instead of 4.
Would I? I wouldn't know that he'd use that all up.
I mean, you wouldn't. We're kind of playing this as a metagame though and talking about it. Um,
Yeah.
but
Well, you know what? Tell you what. In that case, I'm gonna try to use my venom stinger, which I normally don't show to anyone. Sorry, Night Nurse. This is sort of disturbing. Um, yeah. So it actually turns out I've actually just got the webbing spinnerets on one wrist. On the other one, a long tooth-like appendage breaks out of the skin, dripping
oh,
with venom.
Gross.
I'm gonna pop him with it. So I believe I scuffle with that.
yeah, that'd be a scuffle. Now, I do want to let you know, you guys are trained in fighting and all this stuff, even just a bare minimum through police training. So you would know that he's used a lot of his athletics already. But
Okay.
I totally am fine and encourage you to use all of your superpowers,
Yeah, I
especially if
mean,
you're,
might as well give it a shot, right?
yeah,
Um, so let's see. I spend 2 points to have it my organ emerge.
yeah.
Um, Oh, technically, I guess it comes from my first thoracic vertebra, but I guess it comes out of my back. Actually, like a prehensile. Oh God! Oh God! A meter long, thin, prehensile organ terminating in a barbed stinger comes out from my back.
Oh my God. Okay.
Ugh!
So
Not
it's
not
even
not.
more disturbing than you initially even thought. You're like, sorry, night nurse, this is gonna get disturbing.
Well, so you spend the 2 on scuffling, so you hit automatically. Tells me what happens.
Yeah. So I'll spend the points for sure because I don't want to miss after that. He whacked her like that. On a successful hit, I do no damage, but I force the victim to make a health test
Oh, okay.
with the result of my venom stinger attack as the difficulty.
Okay, don't tell me what the difficulty is. Okay.
Okay, I actually have to roll it to tell you because that becomes the skill test.
Oh, okay.
Is my read of it.
Okay, what's it
Yeah,
called?
venom, and then parentheses stinger. On a successful hit, you do no damage, but force the victim to make a health test with the result of your venom stinger attack as the difficulty. So I scuffle, so it becomes a scuffle activity. And then whatever I roll on my scuffle becomes his target.
Okay, yeah, you do have to roll. I'm gonna do an oppose check
Think so.
just at the same time, so I don't know what I need to be spending because I have to spend health to oppose it. So,
Yeah.
all right,
So
I know
and
what
I
I'm
need
gonna spend.
points. Okay. All right, there we go. So I only have 4 scuffling points, so I'm gonna a 9.
Okay, so I got a
I've rolled
7.
super duper high, by the way. Every roll I made so far. Okay, so he did not beat my 9. So he loses 2 points off of basically every physical activity.
Oh, okay.
Athletics, driving, infiltration, scuffling, or shooting. They they lose an additional 2 athletics points whenever they make an athletics, driving, infiltration, scuffling, or shooting test, or a
Oh,
test of their mutant power. If they drop to 0 athletic points, they are paralyzed,
drop
conscious,
to drop
unable
to
to
0
move.
what? Health points?
Athletics.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah. So we have 10 minutes where he is paralyzed. He is conscious, but he can't move.
Okay,
Oh no, night. This one I needed her most.
your
Okay.
grotesque stinger lashes out and gets him from the back into his shoulder from the ceiling. As remember, he's still hanging from the ceiling, lashes down and punches him in the shoulder. No, it's not fair. And he collapses onto the ground. You see a bunch of chittering rats that were starting to come closer. And as soon as he hits the ground, they scatter. Okay, you've got 10 minutes. You guys think about what you want to talk to Otto about. Back to Brickhouse and the Hound. You're heading back to headquarters. And it's just
Oh,
you
doing
two.
secret stuff. Yeah.
And what's your guys' next step?
Uh, it's gonna be like 3 o'clock by the time we get back. Correct.
Yeah, and they're gonna be they will have just been trying to figure out like going through the bureaucracy to talk to the right person to get to the thing. So
Sure.
they're doing their own thing. You've still got you got like 3 hours before the next shift. Or like 4 hours
Okay.
almost.
Okay. So we want to set up sort of a sting operation at the vigil,
Oh,
and specifically, I want to have Cody St. James there because he's really good at surveillance and all that kind of stuff. And so, like, to set up so we can look for mutants that show up, identify some powers, people we don't know, look for some Caesar haircuts, like lots of evidence collecting, that kind of shit.
okay. Uh yeah. Yeah, you just have to pitch that to Sergeant Barnes.
Let's go do that.
Yep.
All right. Sergeant Barnes is in her office, going through her 20th cup of coffee for the day. She doesn't smoke, but some days she really wishes that she did. Part of her mutant power, unfortunately, also makes her sound like a gruff 50-year-old from the Midwest. She looks up as you come in the door off. It's like, I don't want to hear anything unless you got a name for me to close this case.
We have a good lead in a way that we're going to smoke them out. We should know tonight.
Okay. What's this
They're
plan?
gonna have a vigil for Bambi. We're gonna set up some surveillance and find our perp.
Who's going to hold a vigil? Wait, no. This has to be quiet. We want to get this done before anyone knows.
Too late. Word's gonna be out on the street anyway. We can smoke this guy out.
Who was it? Who found out? Who's the leak? Was it that oh, what's her name? Was it Maria? Was it Scoop? Did she overhear something?
It's possible. We don't really know. We're still working on that too.
It seems like lesser concern at this point.
I guess the cat's out of the bag, or deer's out of the bag at this point, I guess, huh? All right.
Too soon, but yes. I have a good feeling about this, and Triple Jump is excellent at this kind of work. He's ready.
And so you going undercover? Is that's what you're trying to do?
Say again.
What, you doing
Become
undercover? So what, you need a van? So who's going to be in the van?
I'd be in the van. I'm pretty good with photography. I can hold up there, take shots of any suspects coming in.
Yeah, we just need some cameras. We still have a couple drones, don't we?
Give me a preparedness check. I'm going to say it's a 6 if you have headquarter drones.
Okay.
Can I assist him in this? Give him some points or something?
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, I'll spend 2.
And you want to spend 2 of mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a 6.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a D6 plus 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have 3 drones.
Nice.
Sweet. We'll get to work. We're gonna know who's qualified for this sort of thing. We're gonna know if they're around, and if they did something, they're gonna come back. I can tell.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna spend the rest of the shift preparing for putting together a sting operation. Okay, so
Yep.
it's gonna be the Hound and who?
Triple Jump.
Triple Jump. Okay. And then anyone else they can try and get wrapped up into it, I assume too.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. And
Well,
then
it's been forever. Where's Night Nurse at? Where's Weaver? They should be here by now.
and perfect segue and switch. All right. I assume you use either rope or webbing or whatever. As a
I'll
auto.
I'll use some webbing just because I don't know what we have. Rather than waste the time digging around looking for something like rope here, yeah, I'll web him up. Night Nurse, did you want to do a medic check on yourself or something? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, that is a good idea.
Okay. So what we learned on how you can use medic points is that you can spend a 1-for-1 basis to heal yourself. It's 1
Okay.
for 2 for healing other people, though.
Okay. And I have this marked as not having any in my, or having half of my pool gone, but that would have been from like 2 times ago as well. So is that back?
Yes.
Did I have a full pool of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've had more than 24 hours of rest with Night Nurse, so yeah. So yeah, spend some medical points. Okay.
I will use I'll use half and get myself back to uh, uh 5.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. And all right, you've got autos coming too.
All
He's like,
right.
no.
I've given enough webbing to lock him up for 2 hours, so
Okay.
hopefully that's enough.
Not fair.
Hey, Otto, I'm going to try to use reassurance. Otto, it's all right. We're here. We're not here to disturb your kingdom or to bother your friends. We're just here to find out about the nice lady whose apartment got chewed up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was yeah, uh funny man came to me and we came up with a prank to pull on Servage. She's so pretty for the apartment. Um and yeah, I gave me a picture of who what I was looking for.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
what
very
was
funny. I'm sure she loved it.
she it really it did. It did. Do you have the picture that the funny man gave you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He points with his toe towards the cot, like probably underneath of it.
Night nurse, do you want to maybe take a look around, especially under that cot over there, and uh, maybe you could tell me more about the funny man, because I'll bet she thought it was funny enough. She might even want to send a thank you
Oh, she's
because
so
it was
nice.
such a
Yeah,
thing.
I met her
Who
once.
was it? Really? Where did you meet her?
Yeah. Oh, years ago. She was so nice to me when she came to say hi. But uh all right, so you go to the cot and you kind of flip it over and you do find that there is a black and white photo underneath there. It's really old. It's badly marred. It's a black and white photo showing Bambi Calloway at a high scale restaurant. You see she's with another figure holding up their hand like this. Okay. Can't quite tell who's with her. It's 100% a paparazzi picture of some sort. And then you ask about the funny man. He's like, oh, oh, it was Mr. Charlie came. But Claire, Lowen, they were in detention, so they couldn't come.
Uh, Charlie, which Charlie? Do you trying to?
Oh, it was Mr. Charlie, but he looked much older now.
Hmm. I don't know that we have a Charlie.
No, it's Mr.
The funny
Charlie.
man come here to his kingdom? Can you ask him?
If what?
I like literally whisper that across the room. Can you ask if the funny man came here to his kingdom?
Oh yeah, was the funny man here in your room in your
Hmm.
kingdom?
Hmm.
Oh, where did he hand you the photograph?
Yeah,
Ask
yeah,
about fingerprinting. Yep, that's exactly why I asked.
yeah. He and is asking about yeah, and Otto talks about yeah. He's like so to destroy all pictures like that. That would be a big. That'd be a very funny prank. If they could try and destroy anything that might look like that. In Servid's and Mr. Charlie, it it's driving you nuts. That sounds, especially Luann and Claire, that sounds like something that you cannot place it offhand.
I want to do some fingerprinting on the photo. Well, I mean, we should probably take it if we can, but if he really needs to keep it, I am not going to stop this mentally ill.
Take the picture. Just leave the game. Like, yeah,
which
talking to Otto, he obviously has the mind of a child.
So
Well,
was
thank you for the photo. And I'll like put it in an evidence bag using gloves.
was his obsession with the game something that was known in previous cases? Would I have read that in his case file?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, and you take a look at the Game Boy, it's broken. Like, it doesn't even work. But he still seems very protective of his game.
Okay. Yeah, we'll set it off to the side. Night Nurse, did you want to do any other evidence collection?
Yeah, just see if there's any other signs of who this might have been, or Otto's involvement beyond just destroying evidence.
No, he said that. I mean, that
Anything?
like you ask about this other stuff, and he's just like, "No, I've just been building my kingdom." Sometimes the funny men come down here in their yellow suits.
Yeah, we're gonna have to warn them about this. Yeah, well, but anything else, Night Nurse, or are we gonna get out of here before the webbing break? I mean, we have a couple hours. Otto,
So
you
nice
got
to
to.
meet you, Otto.
Yeah, hey,
Oh,
buddy. Tell you what, can I take this sword? I don't know that you need it. I know it's fun, but Night Nurse got hurt pretty bad. Would it be okay if I took this with me? Maybe you didn't use it again, and try to
I,
talk him out of use my charm to try to talk him out of owning the sword.
yeah, he does actually feel very much remorse. He probably doesn't realize how strong he is, and especially now that you're like not threatening his game or anything. He's remorseful. He's like, "Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Are there any other skills that you guys want to use here before we all go back to the station?
I don't think so.
Mm.
So the fingerprinting you can get, but you have to go back to the station.
Oh wait, I have influence detection. I
Oh,
will try to detect influence.
None.
I didn't realize
I was asking about that actually. We know signs of influence though. Like, are there signs? I mean, he seems to have pretty clear memory of everything. But like, if somebody had been influenced for a while, would there probably be like a black,
Yeah. So
black
like,
in their memory?
yeah. So the skill and the power give you very distinct answers to this sort of thing. Um, and Otto is clear of any sort of influence.
Okay. Okay. My other character has like the power of detecting influence,
Yep.
but yeah, just he seems like he knows where he was at all times. He knows he was there destroying the stuff in her house.
Yep.
Oh, I have nothing else.
Okay. All right. So we'll move it. I will mark that as the next time. It is now Wednesday night. You guys go back to the yeah, so it's like 6 or 7 o'clock. You guys go back to the thing. Your regular shift is over for the people that are first shifters. Second shifter are ready to go.
Yeah.
So it is 8:44. We've got plenty of time to keep playing. What is your next plan here? Is your next plan? What are your next steps? Oh, I guess I should probably tell you what you found from the fingerprinting, huh? Now that you guys have gotten together, shared all your clues, was there anything that you all had ideas about that you want to talk about before I jump into the next phase?
Do you guys have an idea of yellow suits and Charlie? Does that
Oh,
make sense to you?
he was talking about
Yellow
hazmat
suits,
suits for the yellow suits.
sanitation.
But Mr. Charlie, that's still driving you crazy. Like all of you, you know, all are like, yeah, I know what it is, but I just can't put my finger on it.
Can I just like go around the precinct and be like, pretend I'm doing some like stupid like have this bet. I don't have a skill for this. I don't know why I'm thinking I can. Cop
Okay.
talk, like it's me like just like bullshitting with cops and being like,
Alright,
Mr. Charlie, did you guys ever
sure.
watch Mr. Like I just like throw out things like watch Mr. Charlie. Did you ever read
All right.
Mr. Charlie? Just like trying to figure out what it is.
And so you ask a couple people. The first person's like, "Look, I'm busy." And the second person though that you ask, immediately responds with, "Hey, detention is how you know that I care." Ah, boy, that was a great show. God, when did that get canceled? It was like what, 3 seasons about or so? Is that right? All right, who's got pop culture?
No, I was talking to pop culture. Not me.
My second shifter does.
Weaver does. That's
You
how he
like,
talks to the youth.
ah, damn it. Grading Mr. Charlie. It was a popular sitcom like in the mid 90s about a churlish man who inherits an all-girls school. In order to get his grandfather's fortune, though, he must bring up the school's grades. In doing so, like he learns all sorts of like life lessons. Like it ran for about 3 seasons and starred local celebrity Henry Powers as the titular character, Mr. Charlie, and his catchphrase of "detention is how you know I care." Two of his prize students, were Claire and Lowen, and they were always getting into trouble.
What was the actor's name?
Henry Powers. We have not seen him before. He's not on our lists.
He is not. You want to look up who Henry Powers is?
Yeah.
He is worked in Hollywood for a little bit, moved back to the tri-state area with his wealth. He's lived a pretty quiet life. And like you get like the fingerprints back on that was on the photo. They are Henry Powers' fingerprints, and you're like, yeah, he was like he was pretty famous at one point in time, but then like came back, and like he goes around, he does like opening up a car dealership sort of thing, right? But something about a year, 2 years ago or so, he got into politics. And he is getting like a pretty decent groundswell. Actually,
Hmm.
you're thinking that he might be possibly running for the next governor, mayor. There's even some rumblings that his name has been thrown in the ring to be the vice president nominee.
Anti-mutant
No.
tendencies.
No, none that you can find.
Okay.
Hmm.
Looking at this photo,
Hmm.
so Henry Powers is known to have mutant powers himself, right? He's not on the
No,
registry.
nope, nope, none.
How does energy residue analysis work?
So if like a blast power or something like that was used, you'd say,
Oh,
okay, this is what it is, right? So that's how you figured out like what the psionic brain damage
sure.
was
It's not
on there.
like a fingerprint where just because he held this photo, I'd be able to tell if whoever held it had powers.
No, if that photo had been blasted, yes. Um, does anyone have photography?
I can't tell whoever. My second shift has photography, and she was gonna analyze it. Was my plan.
Mind
Um,
you.
they can manipulate the photo to try and get a clearer picture of who that person with Servant is. It is a young Henry Powers.
Huh.
Do we have a current picture of him?
Yeah, yeah. You can look up like on CNN because his name is getting bandied around for things, and you're like, yeah, wow, that he looks a lot like Mr. Charlie, except just older at this point. Like the kind of fake, not really fake, but a weathered tan, which people in the tri-state area do not have. Blonde hair, brown eyes. Um, yeah, still a good looking man.
And do we have an address for him?
Yeah, he is a local. You do.
Do we want to take this to the sergeant so she knows we're about to haul in the future governor on potentially an accusation of murder? By the way, we missed what did you find when we had to step out for our conversation?
So there's going to be a little memorial, a vigil in the park. We were going to surveil it, see if we anybody shows up that we're looking for. Run through the for me real
Murderers
quick.
like to insert themselves into whatever happenings are around the case.
Right. But what exactly? Because I missed some of this too. As far as Henry Powers goes, what's the evidence you have?
Well, we have his fingerprint on a photograph. That photograph was given to Otto King Rat to help to guide him to destroy all the evidence in her apartment. Now, I don't know that any of that is going to stand up in court. That's a pretty long chain of connections that we got. And he willingly gave that to us, but I don't know how well that would hold up. And can't imagine putting him on the stand.
No, and
Right.
doesn't
So
actually
we need
link
to-
him to anything else though either. Says he fucked
Right.
up an apartment, but didn't say that. Doesn't connect
Well-
it to the murder scene or anything, right?
Well, but it's an effort to destroy evidence directly related to potentially a crime of
connection
murder.
to-
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
If we did,
that might
he
carry some weight.
didn't he tell him just to destroy photographs? Do we know that's directly linked to the murder? I mean, it seems like it probably is, but
I mean, he said to directly to destroy photographs like this one, knowing that ones that he did to him would be included in that. I think he was just trying to cover all the bases.
right,
Yeah.
which
Manipulating
is suspicious, but in no way linked to the murder, right? So, like having a conversation with him, I think would be worth having.
first step.
But I don't know that we would want to do anything other, especially if this guy's as high level as he is, other than
No,
just
yeah.
have like, hey, we heard you're involved with this. Don't mention Otis's name because he's not going to be reliable. Like, no one's going to believe him over this guy. And, even if we do get him, the worst we have him for is minor vandals.
And maybe accessory at some point, but
Maybe, but
we
like
need to
directly
talk
with
to him.
what we have now, yeah, it's accessory to minor vandalism, basically.
Something. We need to find out more and connect him. 'Cause he's obviously part of something, right? But
Yeah,
maybe
I would just
yeah.
say probably don't want to try hauling him. That's probably not going to end.
Not yet.
Yeah, so really what we want to know is you tried to make it so that no one would know that you knew the murder victim. What was your relationship? By the way, we have evidence that you two knew each other.
And I'd maybe not even say the murder victim, see if he lets that slip because it's not public knowledge yet, right?
Will be soon, but not yet.
I mean, amongst the mutant community,
Because
it's
Shares
he said
muted too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
it's
muted,
on fire.
Glorious DM.
Oh, amongst the mutant community, it's been like wildfire, right? Amongst the norms, slower. Don't know yet. But if it went through the mutant community, that means Maria probably knows about it. And if Maria knows about it, everyone's going to know about it by tomorrow morning.
Do you think
She
Maria
already
would
did.
be able to took the picture? Does she know enough like photographers and like reporters that she
It's
might be able to
very
figure out who
possible she
took
was
it
not
and where?
even it's very possible she was not even alive at the time that picture was taken.
Oh,
But Maria was with us, right? With me and in the book, like that morning. Wasn't she at the crime scene when we talked to her, right? We
Yep.
convinced her not to talk about this for a while.
Yeah,
Yep.
we bought a day's time. Yeah.
So yeah, still tomorrow morning she's gonna spill for sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So here's it. So it sounds like you've got two possible good leads that you're working on. Either go after talk to Henry Powers, right? Totally reasonable. Without charging anything, you're just gonna go have a conversation. The other thing is setting up your sting operation or your observation operation at the preserve, where hundreds of mutants are going to show up and completely trample any evidence that might be there that you haven't checked out yet.
Yeah.
Let's do that both. Like
So, who's going where?
my secondary is gonna go to the park and check for evidence and then set up the surveillance.
Okay, so you're gonna run triple jump. Is
Correct.
that really his code name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
For those of you who are just jumping into this, watching us for the first time, this case is so big and takes over the course of a whole week that everyone has two characters that they are freely able to go back and forth on. One, to cover all the skills, have some interesting powers, but also to allow their officers to rest. Because their character, like your guys' characters, make up 80% of the heightened mutant crime unit. So if you guys don't get this done or solve it, it's not getting solved. And it looks especially bad considering that Boy Scout is the one that's already admitted to. Oh my God, yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, who's doing what?
I don't like that laugh at all.
What? All right, you guys figure out
one
who's
thing
doing what.
but I was gonna say one thing that, like, if it were Henry Powers, he controlled Boy Scout. You're still lacking somebody who can possess and control. Manipulated Otto. Doesn't sound like he or anybody controlled Otto. Henry just manipulated.
I mean, it
Yeah,
doesn't
And
sound
powers
like
we haven't
he-
found, right?
Could be. But I think that's a question that needs to get answered before anybody can get accused of anything.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like he needed to control Otto, so it's possible he is our secret controller and just didn't waste his time and ability doing that. But yeah, we could be. I mean, he could just be tangentially involved as well. It seems
He might
odd
have paid
that he would do
off.
this now, but
Right.
Also, I kind of want to play the Grading Mr. Charlie RPG. Sounds like a good premise. I think we should write it up and run Jerod through it. All right,
love it.
good.
All right, you guys, I cannot wait to go back and review the tape, whatever was just said. So, all right. Who's going where and what are they doing?
So I don't have any characters that are particularly useful. I'll take my first string and I can help with the surveillance, but other than that, I'm out. I got nothing useful.
Okay, let me
Some of you are
rephrase the
going to go do
question.
evidence collection. Who's going to go do evidence collection?
My second person also has that, so I can go help with that. Unless we need to spread that in different places.
Well, who's going to go
Going to the
talk
vigil
to?
and surveilling the vigil. Is that what's happening? And then somebody's going to talk to Powers. Is that what's happening?
Yep.
What if he's at the vigil? To show his support. No, okay, just checking.
The party that he's going to be running under. Maybe this is. I didn't make this obvious enough, and I do apologize, especially when I said the possible vice president. He'd be running as a Federalist.
Really? Huh. I did not expect that.
I will say I missed the character setup session, so I only have one character set up, and I don't actually understand the rules enough that I ever set up my second one. So that's who I will go with.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like you can make it the whole way, and we can get a second one figured out. All right, so we still haven't told me, Laura Barnes, who sounds like a 50-year-old gruff Midwesterner, who's going to talk to Henry Powers and who's going to go to the vigil / try and find some clues before the vigil happens.
I would probably be better at the vigil because I have evidence collection, fingerprinting, and photography. So probably good for surveillance and that.
Boom, the hound is at the vigil.
Cody can't talk to anybody. He's not. He can't talk to Powers. Yeah, I think he has to go to the vigil too.
Okay, triple jump, boom, at the vigil. Because you don't have to send everyone to the, like, you don't have to split evenly either if you really don't want to.
I think we should split even. Oh, yeah, we should go by themselves to talk to Henry Powers. Just trying to decide if I push Night Nurse to go talk to Henry Powers or take Lilacs.
Yeah, because the vigil does have two things going for it. And I will tell you, we're going to do the Henry Powers scene first, because that's going to take less time than the vigil,
Okay.
right? Because the vigil is actually 1.5 scenes. The first scene will be trying to scour for clues. Then the next part will be just the vigil, seeing who shows up and whatnot.
I'll go along to Henry Powers. I want to try. This is probably a terrible, terrible idea. But Lilacs has document analysis. I want to see if there's any records. Like, see if there's some way I can access any records that might point to paying somebody off for something. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but that is what comes to my brain. I also have data retrieval. Would that allow me, like, if I could get into like his office without him knowing, could I like copy his hard drive to an external drive?
Yep. Yep. Remember, you can always hover your mouse over each of the skills too, and it'll tell you exactly what the skills do.
Well, that is my dream. I understand that might not be very likely, but I'm going to go along in case the opportunity presents itself.
Okay, Night Nurse going to Henry Powers.
We will go.
Lilacs.
Then Weaver's going to go to Henry Powers too.
With
Okay.
Lilacs, yeah.
Okay, so Night Nurse, you're playing Lilacs now?
Yes.
Okay. We've got some new characters here, and so it'll be Weaver and Lilacs. All right, before we begin the scene, Lilacs, Rachel, could you tell us exactly what Lilacs looks like? What portrays her as a mutant? Where does she keep her badge? And what is her specialty on the Force?
Have I ever had to describe her before? I think I described her one time and I don't remember what I said. whatsoever. So if this is totally different, if somebody's watching and remembers that Lilacs has this appearance, does make her stand up as a mutant. I actually feel like I had something really good, so now I'm like, man. I feel like even she has some type of like her head is like misshapen in some way. But she tries to cover it with hair, so you don't always like notice. Um, she just seems to have very like her hair has a lot of volume. But really, like if you were to shave her head, it would be like way larger than it should be. Yeah, that's the big thing.
Okay.
She has a big brain, and her because she has brain related powers.
Gotcha. Okay.
She is a cold case.
Oh, okay.
Specialist.
Yeah, really good at that stuff then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I changed my mind already. I'm actually going to switch to Triple Jump in the Hound because they're going to do look for the clues, go back to you guys, and then on it. Okay. Which that means we have to introduce Triple Jump. Who is Triple Jump?
Triple Jump is a young male, probably what's the youngest we can be and still like be part of the force?
20s.
Sure. Well, he's 25. Uh, he's got a big mop of like black hair. That's sort of not like not like as bad as the Cure, but sort of like emo and a little bit gothy. He wears a lot of baggy flannels and retro T-shirts. Uh, that when he needs to, like, he'll wear khakis and like tuck it in and like has like a tie, a clip-on tie that he keeps in his pocket that he will put on when he needs to look official, but almost never does. Um, you can tell he's a mutant because uh, every once in a while he phases, and like you'll just see him like sort of shake, like a little bit static, and then like come back. Like he's not like permanent to this plane of existence. Like he just sort of buzzes
Whoa.
like a bad TV. Um, you could go a whole conversation, it doesn't happen. In a matter of 30 seconds, it could happen 30 times and then kind of go off. It's very random, very chaotic, but him and everything that he's wearing just sort of buzzes out.
I think people around the office probably glitch. What were you going to say, Rachel?
Oh, I was gonna say I had more thoughts on Lilacs too. That she also has like veins in her forehead. That those you can see without outside her hair. So she has like these visible blue veins, and then her eyes are like a very light purple, which is why Lilacs is her.
Perfect. All right, love it. Okay, and I also want to throw in there, I think you meant to say the fabulousness of the Cure's hair. Never a joke. Okay, we are going to go
Just
to.
said it wasn't as fabulous as the Cure's hair. Is what I'm trying to say.
There
It
we
wasn't
go.
as great
Better.
as that. It's a little less than that. That's
All right, Triple Jump in the Hound. You are heading out to the preserve. Hopefully before sundown when the vigil really starts to kick off. So you'll have like an extra hour or two before people start trampling all around the park. So you get there ahead of time. And the preserve it's a leftover relic of an attempted gentrification, leaving a slice of green space carved out of an industrialized landscape. Families bring their picnic totes, joggers run free, and hopeful fishermen drop lines into a stocked pond during the day. However, once the sun goes down, it really transforms into a place where junkies can score, muggers prowl in the shadows, and bodies are dumped. You get there early, you park the van, and you get out, start searching as much as possible. After scouring the park grounds, the detectives find splotches of muted rust not far from the waterway. From there, they can piece together a crime scene that hasn't been fully wiped out from foot traffic as of yet. There are 2 sets of large footprints meet a third, smaller footprints. 2 sets of thin wheels, as if from a cart or a wheelchair, stop behind some nearby bushes. A 4th set of footprints leads from the bushes at a run towards the first group. That was a lot of information. Need me to repeat any of it? Please let me know. This is where you get your
Yes.
detectiving going.
So there were 2 sets of larger footprints
Yes.
and 1 set of smaller.
Yep. The 2 sets of larger footprints walk together to meet these smaller footprints.
Yep. The rust. Say that again.
Old blood.
Like a rust. Sorry again.
Old blood.
Old blood. Thank you. And the wheeled thing was behind like a tree and then went to meet the other group of people.
Well, so wheels go behind some bushes, some shrubbery. That you get there and you can look up, you can see where those 3 footprints all meet. Okay. Then
Okay.
a 4th set of footprints walk up to where the bush is at, and then they run towards the first group. And then you see that the footprints where the 3 people meet, they scatter from there.
All right.
What do you got for me,
Evidence
Hound?
collection.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You would do some evidence collection?
Yeah, evidence collection, specifically like shoe sizes and like how big the people were, that kind of stuff.
Yep. Absolutely. You get a good impression from the footprints. The smaller prints, I mean, you put it together, these fit, yeah, Bambi Callaways. The larger, unknown, you don't know. Uh, However, one was a little bit heavier than the other one. The smaller footprints so the 2 larger ones, the larger footprints, that person was actually lighter than the other person. But during your evidence collection, you also find casing of a 500 or a 50 Magnum is found by the pond. There's 4 of them. Um, let's see. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Bag
So
batteries.
sorry. So what I meant, so you find the casing found by the pond, and then what this other clue means by the evidence collection from you looking at the shoes and all that, you figure out that there's 4 of them. The wheels or whatever, that's a wheelchair. Okay. And they don't seem to partake uh, in whatever the scattering or the where the blood was at. The wheels don't get close to that at all. Um, and they're not very careful about picking up bullet casings. One of the two.
Yeah.
Do we know, does the round match what Boy Scout carries?
So this type of, do you have ballistics?
I do.
Let's see. Nope, I don't, but.
Okay, triple jump does though.
Mhm.
Okay. You don't know like that. No gun that Boy Scout has that you've seen so far matches that casing. Okay. A 50 caliber round is monstrous. It is could come from possibly the largest handgun that can be produced. So the casing for the Magnum is found. It's one of the loudest manufactured handguns. However, just by doing a quick knocking on nearby residents, no one has any reports of hearing anything unusual. So, very big gun, very unusual.
Does the amount of blood seem like it would correlate to a gunshot wound from one of these, or not nearly enough?
Not enough. If you get hit by this, you'd be splattered. So you start to dig around a little bit more and you find like maybe shooting into the water, or oh, here's a couple large pieces of ground that at first you thought were maybe like little gopher holes that were dug. Oh, no, you dig it out like, holy Christ, these are bullets.
Shot into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Another question on the wheelchair tracks. Do they get deeper at some point? Does it look like maybe this was used to haul Bambi Calloway's body to where it was found?
Does not.
Like it was empty and then, okay.
A good question. With your expertise, does not. All right. With the clues that you've gathered at this point, we now jump over to Lilacs and Weaver. You call to, I guess, how do you set this up? Do you try and meet him at his house? He does live locally. He, I mean, he's
Late?
got,
It's not late, right?
yeah, it's a little late. He lives in, Harbor Town.
So I think we go under the pretense of letting him know that she's dead. I mean, that's one possibility. I mean, he already
One
knows.
possibility, unless
Dead.
he already knows, but also like how spread so much among the mutants, but like why would he know that? So it'd be interesting to be like, oh, how did you hear about that?
Okay. Yeah, let's go in
I
with
don't know.
the
Would that be better?
yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. Yeah, so just go in saying, "Hey, we're just here to learn more about your relationship with Bambi. Tell us how you know her, how long you've been seeing one another. Hint that we have a bunch of photographs and that prove that they've been dating for some time, and then then turn on our bullshit sniffers."
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
you visit him at his, not a palatial estate, but it's nice. It's really nice. It is in a guarded community. It's in the nicest part of town. Henry Powers' blonde hair is perfectly coiffed to match his overly tanned face and ex-athlete's build. His warm brown eyes crinkle at the edges in a permanent smirk. He's wearing a white button-down shirt rolled up to the elbow, tan slacks, belt, soft shoes, and matching yellow power tie, giving off a heavy elder statesman on the go type of vibe. Over his shoulder is a bodyguard, in his shadow, Mr. Jenkins. The bulk in his jacket belies a protective vest and handgun. Powers greets everyone eagerly with a firm handshake and direct eye contact. How can I help you? If you're here for signatures, I don't think they're going to be worth very much anymore. I'm very sorry about that. The detectives can tell that he is very nervous that they're here talking to him. He does invite you into his living room to conduct their interview. So how can I help you? Smooths out his tie.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you seem to already know why we're here. Is everything okay, sir?
Well, you called me. I don't understand. Can I
Oh,
help
you
you?
just yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about Bambi Calloway? How long you've
Uh,
known her?
you instantly, without needing any bullshit detection, just like boop, 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 little dots appear on his temples of sweat. He's like, ah, well, sure, I know who that is. She's famous around here. She's she's an activist, right? I mean, kind of an aging starlet kind of vibe, but no, sure I know who she is.
Yeah, well, how long has it? How long have you been dating, or whatever it is you might be calling it these days? I'm not using reassuring at this point.
Mhm.
Okay. Mm, What kind of vibe are you going to give off him? Are you going for,
Oh, right.
like, you tell me when you want to start dropping skills and leverages and pushes and whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
In
Rachel,
Lilacs, you were obviously there too. So,
yeah, Rachel,
Oh,
you're going to jump in, please.
I just remembered that my power is telepathy, so I'm trying to decide the right moment to, and also how that mechanically works. I'm reading that. I'm looking that up right now.
yeah. Remember, telepathy in Triple Jump's power of phasing are um, they are monitored by the government. And if you use those powers without getting a warrant to use them, you're going to get the case totally
Nonsense.
thrown out if you get caught.
If I get caught, I'm gonna go read the mechanics. We'll see
The,
if it comes into
read the
play.
mechanics.
Yep.
Okay. He's like, what? never dated, never dated the woman. You notice you said woman, not freak, not mutant. He said woman.
Was it? It was just quick check. It was publicly known she was a mutant, right?
Oh yeah, she had antlers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, maybe dated is too strong of a word. How long were you acquaintances? I mean, there aren't a lot of pictures of you out in public or together, but we've certainly seen our share. We have some news we'd like to share, but first we'd just like some context around your relationship. Now I'll try to
What?
put a little reassurance in there.
He is not responding to reassurance.
Okay.
Um, but you did drop that you have photos of him with her.
Yep.
Okay. Um, okay, you're doing that. You said that. Okay. It's like, look, this is not, it's not what I wanted. Um, Mr. Jenkins, can you wait in the other room? You see his bodyguard like give an eyebrow. He was like, it's okay. It's okay. His bodyguard leaves the room. He was like, look, this isn't what I wanted. You have to know that. Look, we were young. We were idiots. It's the 90s, It was look, I'm being blackmailed, okay? Um it yeah, mm, these people
Mm.
don't know who they are. Don't know who they are. But I'm being blackmailed. They're nothing if not greedy. They just called me this morning. Uh, yeah, this partly might be my fault, but I knew if anyone finds out, if the party finds out that I used to date a mutant, they're gonna kick me off the ticket. I just wanted, look, you know how it is. Like I just wants to be called Mr. Vice President. It's the American dream. But now I'm getting
So,
blackmailed, and I don't know.
so that's why you talked to King Rat to destroy the evidence in her apartment. We
Yeah,
have Otto in custody.
yes. Look, yes, yes. Yes, I did.
And is
I did.
and is that why you killed her?
What? She's dead?
Bullshit sniffer on that one?
He is very shocked at this information. What do you
What do you think, Lilacs? Is this are you interested? Just make some space here for it. Are you gonna use the telepathy? Or you're not gonna do
So
that
you
yet?
can't read minds. You can open a line of communication through your brains.
Oh, I'm thinking read minds, not telepathy. Sorry.
Ah, I didn't know that was a separate skill. So I assumed telepathy meant read minds. But
Oh,
as I
sorry.
read it, it opens up a line of mental communication. I don't know that that has a use at this moment, unless we're trying to be quiet about a conversation. I don't think we are. So it's good to know that if they're trying to be discreet and they don't want to like have the conversation out and open, then I can talk to them.
Forensic psychology, I guess, might be. Is that appropriate at this point?
100% forensic
Okay.
psychology. So, you are trying to place like what his motivations are and like what kind of how it kind of looks on from his point of view. Um, yeah, he's being blackmailed. He just he is just trying to destroy any evidence that he is being blackmailed so he can get on the ticket for the Federalist to be hopefully the next vice president. Um, you know what? This is very clear to you. He doesn't hate mutants.
Yeah.
In fact, probably quite the opposite. Um, but he is getting older. His chances at being anything anymore are probably coming to a close pretty quick unless he does something about it.
Uh, Lilacs, you have document analysis, right? Yeah. How did they reach out to you to demand uh, the with the blackmail? Did they give you a letter, or how did they reach out to you?
Virtually, I can also analyze that.
They called my office. Yeah, I don't know who these bastards are, but they called my office.
What
Does
was
your
it? Help.
office have any like call tracing or recording where calls come from?
Yeah, we wrote the number down. Here. You do a quick, like, easy
Like
little,
evidence collection.
yeah. You quickly put it up and you're like, it's it's from the Montreal Hotel.
Could you tell us again what it was they
What
said they wanted from you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rachel. I'll wait.
I was gonna like get all the dates, get all the information about like when the call was made, and then if we go to the Montreal, we
Okay.
might be able to find out
Yeah.
what room it came
But
from and who was staying in that room and all that stuff.
a phone call, I mean, it was just the general number from the Montreal Hotel. Like, it's not even from one of the rooms. It's from like the lobby.
Oh, okay. It's not like I can go to the Montreal and be like, "Hey, who made a phone call at this time on this day?"
Yeah, they're not gonna really have it. No. And what was your question, Aaron? Oh, what are they asking for? They want $1 million. I don't have $1 million.
How did they want you to do the drop off, and would you allow us to get involved?
Well, I haven't even gotten that far yet. Like, they just called me this morning.
After she was already dead. Did they tell you what evidence they have on you?
They've got the picture. They've got the picture. They got a picture of us, younger. If that picture gets out, just look. I will plead whatever I need to because look. I had nothing to do with her murder. You have to believe me. As long as you don't release those pictures of me with her, I will fully cooperate with whatever you need.
Okay. What else, Lilacs? What else do you have? This is not how I expected this to go.
You, um, I don't know that I have anything else at the moment either.
And switch. Okay. Triple jump. Hound. You're out there scrambling to get whatever clues you can get before people start coming into the park. Slowly, a couple, then couples, and a small group until you get people roaming around. Now, there aren't this many mutants in the city, but there's about, well, you'd guess 400, 500 people getting crammed into this park. Servid was a beloved member of society. Is like not only did she help out as a mutant activist, she also helped out with other charities as well. She famously donated money to the construction of your guys' new unit that you work out of. It's she brought people together, and these people have come out to support her. They hand out candles. They have little votive candles, and they have constructed a little like kind of stage near not too far off from the pond, as that's as lit as the backlit as they get ready to send out little lit votive boats out onto the little pond area there. They found an old picture of her during her heyday before she, had wrinkles. You know, they've got one, and that was before her powers manifested, and so they drew in markers, her antlers on there. So to be fair, like she never had powers. She just had the mutation. And it is an incredibly moving scene. Unfortunately, anytime you get any sort of movements of kindness, there's always movements of hate that come along with it as well. Tell me where your characters are at and what are they doing?
Triple Jump's in the van and he is controlling some drones.
Okay.
I'm trying to zero in on some faces and doing some checks.
Okay.
Can I use a power here?
Sure.
So I have command mammals, which lets me influence a creature if it's trainable on a given task. I can do it even if they're in the wild.
Yep.
Since crows can be taught to speak and they're really good at remembering faces, can I try to communicate with some crows, see if they remember being disturbed by a loud noise like from a gunshot, and see if they recognize that face in the crowd?
Yeah.
Like any of the faces involved in that?
Yeah. 100%. I love this use of the power too. It's very outside the box thinking. That's awesome. Yeah, give me okay. I have a target number. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a target number 8.
Okay, just roll a d6.
Roll a d6, and then you got spend points out of your power pool to add to the roll.
So you never told me what my power pool is, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Then.
So when you make your character, you get a certain number of points, right? To make it. So we can do this real quick. I've had it mostly memorized because you took command mammals.
environmental awareness, tracking, and olfactory center.
Okay, command mammals is there. Okay, so 4, 6, 10, 12. So you have, I believe, 18 points to split between command mammals and tracking.
Probably just do 9 and 9.
Okay.
So, sorry, what did you say the target DC was?
6.
I will do a +5 on this because I do kind of want the answer.
Okay, perfect. All right. You send the crows out, and they're just kind of like, on it, boss, as they fly out, surveying the crowd. You don't know how long it's going to take them, but they'll be back as soon as they can. As you're got them searched around between the drones and the crows, I want to get a sense trouble or trouble sense or whatever that's called. I'm going to say 4. You both can roll that right now. Spend any points that you want to, or that you may wish to. Oh no. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Lilacs, Weaver. Was there anything else that you wanted to try and get done while interviewing Henry Powers? Are you taking him down? Or are you
think
just
we need
saying
to
thank
at
you
this
so much for...
point. I would still get all the information I could about the phone call that came to the office. I know it seems like there's not anything to do with that, but also I'm good at data retrieval. If
Yeah.
that would be like I could go get like hack into the hotel's records or something and get anything, surveillance video of somebody making a phone call or anything like that.
No, I'm not giving that to you.
But yes. I try one more time because it felt like
Yeah.
a good direction to go.
So you have a very philosophical question to answer right now. Do
Mhm.
you take Henry Powers in right now? Because you have him on, if nothing else, on conspiracy to a murder, right? Now, the link to the murder, very tenuous. But you 100% have him on conspiracy of obstructing, which maybe he didn't know was a murder at the time, which that's not nothing. Because ignorance on his part doesn't really stand up. Or do you just leave it alone for now?
I would leave it alone for now. But ask him some questions about. Have you stayed in touch with Andy Calloway? Are you guys still on decent terms?
Like, no, I haven't seen the
I'm
woman
not
in
necessarily good,
probably 15 years.
but
Mr. Jenkins, I think we're done here. I think we're done here. If we're not
I
gonna...
was just gonna.
Yeah, don't leave
You
town.
don't. Yeah. But know if you knew anybody who might be interested in who might
Just
any
one.
enemies she might have had.
I'll add to that as we're standing up to leave. Any enemies she had, or any enemies in the Federalist Party that you have that might be opposed to you being the selection for the ticket.
No, I'm Mr. Charlie. Who hates Mr. Charlie? And I'm going to tell you again, I did not know that woman. And he turns to go back into his house, or deeper into the house as Mr. Jenkins enters into the room to escort you guys to the front door.
His whole demeanor like just changed when I tried to ask him follow-up questions. Like, did everything just change, or was it just like he was just like, I'm done with this?
I mean, you think he asked for help. You guys didn't say one way or the other. He was done. He's like, okay, I'm not putting any handcuffs right now, so maybe I can just walk away from this. So we did.
Okay. I was just like, did he just like get defensive all of a sudden when he's trying to ask more questions? Because he just said he would help us in any way he could, and then he was like, nope, we're done.
No, he
It's like,
said
that's not being helpful.
he said don't release any connections with him. That's what he said.
Okay.
He would do anything for that not to
I thought he
happen.
said he would be
And you
helpful.
guys haven't given him anything, so he's
Ah,
like, all right, well, I tried to play ball. All right, if you
okay.
guys are gonna stay there, all right, going back to the Hound and Triple Jump. All right, so Triple Jump succeeded on Sense Trouble, right? Okay. Through one of your drones, you see Maria there. Of course, she was going to be there. She's a reporter. She's got a nose for this sort of thing. And she is kind of getting near to the middle. And then all of a sudden, you see her stop and start talking to, oh, oh no, what's Boy Scout doing here? What do you do?
Mhm. What does TJ do?
Do you say anything to the Hound? Do you
The
run off?
Hound and the Hound knows specifically. I remember he got pulled in because he needed one of your skills.
Sure, yeah.
But Triple Jump, I guess
What's
not.
what's Boy Scout doing here? That's weird.
Well, do I know that Boy Scout's here, or is this something that just TJ saw in the drone footage?
Well, I don't know if Triple Jump is sharing that information or not.
That's what I
I
was
stand very
asking.
much literally out
Curious.
loud.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably say at that point we need to go talk to him. I don't think he should be here.
You want me to go with you?
Yeah, I think I might need backup on this one.
Okay.
And I would like to go out and try to intercept Boy Scout.
I'm gonna hit record in the drone, just
Yeah.
if I didn't already before.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm going to need what was it? Athletics check of 6. As from your drones, you start to see the Hound make a bolt beeline through the crowd towards what appears to be a sobbing Boy Scout talking to a listening Maria.
Did you want that from both of us, or?
Well, I don't know. Triple Jump is just watching and recording, I thought. I think it's just the Hound that's running towards.
Oh, I was gonna follow him.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. Before both of you then.
Sure.
Okay. The Hound gets there slightly ahead of time. As you both arrive to see Boy Scout just ugly crying, snot, everything coming down. And he seems to have controlled himself just enough to be like, oh, Maria, I I can't. And you get right there before he's said anything. Hound, you get there
Yeah.
half a second before Triple Jump does.
Hey, buddy, we need you back in the surveillance van. I'm sorry to interrupt you like this, but we thought we saw a potential disturbance from some anti-mutants groups down some streets. We needed to come look over some faces, see if you recognize anyone. And I just kind of want to completely distract them both and try to pull them out of this.
Okay. He turns towards you and he's just like, what? I don't care about that sort of thing. Do you have a skill that you want to use?
Yeah, I guess maybe use a negotiate and be like, hey, you're already on a little thin ice on your caseload there. If you really want to show the sergeant that you're out here pulling your weight, we kind of need you to be a team player on this.
Well, as you grab him, you start to pull him away. Triple jump. What are you doing?
Teleportation is one of those, like, I need a warrant to be able to do it. Is that correct?
Teleportation? No. Teleporting into someone's house? Yes.
Got it. Also, if I grab somebody, can I teleport them with me?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends, right? It's a little bit like kidnapping, but I guess it depends who you're doing it to, whether they're cool with it or not.
I was going to do it with my colleague, the police officer, and help him get back to the van faster.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, God.
I mean, no one said that
Seems
you
pretty
can't do it.
straightforward.
It's just whether it happens or
I
not.
know.
You
Sure.
definitely, Boy Scout, reeks of booze again.
Okay.
Okay. You cannot see where you're teleporting back to. So you're at 0. No, then destination. I'm gonna say you spent a couple hours in the van, so it gives you a +3. It's within 100, so +0. So you're at a check of 7.
And I have a +3. Oh,
No,
you added that to your pluses. Yeah. I need to make a 7. Okay. I would have to use everything I got to guarantee it.
I mean, how could it go wrong? Teleportation is the safest thing in the world, right?
Sure. I'm gonna spend 4. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, if you kill you both, I guess that ties up that loose end.
Yeah. Ooh, I got a 6. I needed a 7.
Yeah. All right. So.
All right.
What does it say if you fail?
I don't think you can fail. I think I read that.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yep, can't fail. It's pretty cool.
You glitch. You glitch. You grab on, you slightly fuzz for a bit, and then you snap back into full clarity. As Maria goes like, wait, what was he saying? What was he saying? All right. Lilacs and Weaver. Mr. Jenkins has a handout. It was like, uh, sorry, Mr. Powers would like you to leave the premise.
So
Yeah, I guess we leave our cards and head out, huh?
yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can do.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for making this easier for everyone here, all right? Thank you.
Thanks, Jenkins.
All right, as he leads you to the front door. Is there anything that you want to try and do like as a last?
Some questions.
You have time to ask him like one question on the way, sure.
Was he home on the night that Bambi, whatever night that was, that Bambi was killed?
No. No, he wasn't home. They were actually at they were at a meeting at the Federalist headquarters because they were trying to figure out that something about the head organizer had to take a sudden leave of absence. So they're trying to appoint a new
That's too bad.
organizer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. That makes sense.
You.
All right, you guys have now made it out to the front steps. Where do you want to go?
I guess we head over to just to see if we can pitch in at the potential at the event.
Okay.
That's fine.
Maria's like, he said, what did you say? He's like, Boy Scout. Turns to her, is like, I killed her. And just vomits from being slightly phased out of existence for half a second. And just Maria's eyes go big. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Psionics.
I'm sorry. He's been having a lot to drink here. He was supposed to be watching her because of some peeping toms, and he went home early that night and missed the murder. He thought he could have been there to prevent it.
Maria starts backing up from you very slowly. She's like, look, I don't know anything. Okay, I didn't hear anything. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. She starts backing up into the crowd. The chants from across the park are getting louder. You think maybe a large group of anti-mutant are starting to rile up on the other side of the park. What do you do?
All Boy Scout back to the van and continue our surveillance.
You let Maria go?
She backed into the crowd, right? She's gone.
I mean, she's just like she's not that far away, right? You can try and track her down if you want.
Yeah, I'll turn to Triple Jump and be like, "Hey, can you get him back to the van? Get him to get a grip on himself." And
Sure.
I'm gonna try to talk to Maria here.
Okay. I need you. First, I need you to make a composure check.
Okay. Do I know what the target is?
I'm gonna. All right. I feel like I'm in danger. So I need to look up the ability. No, because you're not quite sure what you're looking for, but it's composure. You know what? I will tell you. You can't metagame this information, but I'm going to tell you. It's 14.
Okay. uh, well, I don't think I can hit that, but let's go ahead and give that a whirl. Nope. Nope.
Oh. Okay. Now you spend all your composure, yeah? That's like your
Yeah.
sanity in this game, or your
Oh.
mental. Yeah, yeah. It's a big one. It's like your health, but it's your mental health. Okay. You start to go forward, and you're like, what the hell? She's disappeared into the crowd. Like she was 5 feet away from you. It's gone. Triple jump. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try to get this guy back to the van as fast as I can. Just
Okay.
running.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a problem. He follows you willingly. He's stumbling all over. He's got vomit on him. You've got vomit on your shoes again. Is your
That was the other guy.
just your characters love to get vomited on, not the same one at least.
Burchett.
Okay.
I'm gonna cuff him, and then like handcuff one of his hands and handcuff it to part of the van inside the van, and then shut the van door so that
Okay.
he's like handcuffed inside the van with me.
Okay. I am gonna try and check my threat analysis to see if I see that coming. Yeah. He recognizes that you are going to try and cuff him. So he's just like, "Huh, what are you doing, man?" He's gonna try and bolt into the crowd, which sets up a chase scene.
Okay.
Lilacs, Weaver, you pull up on the opposite side of the park because this has been going on for quite a while. Your interview didn't take as long. You pull up behind what can only be described as a burgeoning riot, as anti-mutant protesters are have built small bonfires and are just like breaking down benches and setting them on fire as they're chanting for the mutants to leave the park. It is 10 o'clock Central Time. I know Aaron's had a very long day, and that's totally acceptable. We can leave off right now. And then wrap this up next time we get together. Using actions to chase down Boy Scout into Koala Riot. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Thank you guys, everyone, for playing. Interesting going through
The next time
what's that?
Oh, I was gonna confirm that the next time would be 2 weeks from now. There's not like people rolling.
Yes, correct. It is 2 weeks. There's no gaming going on next weekend. No play testing. We're kind of done with the Honor Bound for now, anyway, until we get some rules figured out and get that restarted. So let's leave that off the calendar. So what we might do is just once we get in 2 weeks get back onto Mutant City Blues. I thought there might have been a conflict on that weekend too. I can't remember. But we'll talk about it and see if maybe we just want to stick with this for a couple of weeks in a row, and then maybe switch over or however we want to do it. But I think tonight went really well. I think this really points out a huge difference between coming at this from a mini campaign standpoint and coming at this as a one shot standpoint. How does it feel for you guys? If anyone has to leave, please do so. You're not beholden for these wrap up moments, okay? Um, how is the mystery in these cases? How are they unfolding for you? Does it feel unfair at times, or is it still feeling satisfactory?
I think this is definitely a game that is best played weekly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of information. I feel like I'm just trying to like catch up like every
Yeah.
time. Honor Bound didn't seem that bad. For whatever reason, Honor Bound stuck in my brain better. But this just has so many specific details and way more information.
This is
Like,
also like you're juggling 3 or 4 different cases right now with a ton of people in this huge campaign. Like this is not normal. This is not your normal Mutant City Blues.
no.
I think your normal Mutant City Blues looks a lot more like the Peeping Tom case, right? Where you can just like knock that out like in one session. Like, hey, all right,
Right.
we got him, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But and even if it was a bigger campaign, I think if you played weekly with it, that it would still stay fresh enough so that you could remember some of that stuff the next time you played.
Yeah.
You know? Um I just for me, I'll still say my primary character, like would have been so much more effective in everything that happened with Cody, which makes me not want to play Cody anymore. You know what I
Oh, no.
mean? Like it's like the other guy does the stuff that I like to do, and I just don't really know what to do with like the nerd in the van can't really do anything if he has to like talk to people or fight or chase. He's not good at any of that stuff. So
Yeah.
why would I ever play a character like that? You know what I mean? Because there's better chances that kind of thing's going to happen in the game.
It was a
You
little
know what I
bit
mean?
more actiony, kind of. We still didn't have a fight. Oh no, we did. We had a fight. We had Otto. Um, do you feel like, all right, Henry Powers? Do you think he did it?
I don't think he did.
No, I don't
No.
either.
I was expecting he had, but no, I think there's a coincidence, but this does seem to be tying back into the other Federalist thing now in a way that I'm still trying to sort out. So I don't know if it's that we should already know it by now and I'm not getting it, or if it's that you're just introducing it now in a campaign sense for us to flesh out later. If it's the second one, then I think we're right where we should be. But if we're supposed to know the connection, I don't yet.
Yeah, and I need to tell you guys more information. Like Henry Powers needs to give you at least one more piece of information, I think, about like he's getting blackmailed. He needs to know a little bit more about that information of who he's getting blackmailed from, right? And like um he's gonna say like um yeah, there's no reason that he shouldn't say it. He's like they're getting he's getting blackmailed by like they call themselves the Hunt Masters or some neckbeard thing like that.
Hmm.
So I'll need to put that down in the notes because because of you guys, thank you so much for doing the playtesting. You guys clarified this part two amazingly well for me for how the crime happened and who's involved and why it happened that way. And I really do appreciate it. You guys made it a lot more complicated. Like this was supposed to be the straightforward one, and then you guys did a little bit more thinking outside the box, and I'm like, oh, you know what? It'd be way cooler if it was this and that. It was two things instead of just one thing. So thank you for that. It makes it work a lot better, honestly.
I
So
think what I find most tricky. Oh, go ahead.
no, you go.
Biggest reaction in general, kind of going back to what Eric said about like keeping everything straight from week to week. Like it totally makes sense in the system to like pair off and go do different things. But if I wasn't in on this conversation and suddenly I have to go do a thing related to that conversation that these two people had, I necessarily know that information as well. And then to not play for 2 weeks and then have to play off of that information is really tricky for me.
Yeah,
Even if I
like
take notes and things, it's still just like I think that's the hardest thing about the system for me. Like it's that it makes complete sense that we don't need to send all four of us into this talk with Henry Powers.
right. Yeah, like he.
It does make every other a little tough when there's so many different cases and leads that we're working on.
Yeah, like we'll just have to like. I think we kind of declared that really early on. Is like any information this group finds out, we just automatically share it with this group over here, just to make it easy, you know. And like as much as we want to do the role
Tonight it
playing of like,
really helped.
yeah, yeah, like as much as we want to say like, oh, we should keep Boy Scout under wraps. It's like that made that last scene kind of weird, right? Because I forgot that you guys have no contact with Boy Scout.
TJ didn't. He had no idea that guy is.
Yeah,
Yeah, having like we took a decent amount of time to like recap and like say what were we planning to do, and like that helped tonight to just kind of.
Yeah.
But even so, I still had to stop and be like, why do we care about Otto? Like,
yeah. And I think we had some really cool moments tonight for sure. Like I loved one thing that really stands out to me was the Hound using the mammal control thing in an interesting way. I was like, okay, yeah. Lilacs busting out the bureaucracy is always good. I mean, as much as I hate to see people fail, like that teleportation thing not working, like, which then sets up a whole nother thing. Like you guys setting up the vigil. Oh, okay. I guess we're doing that now. That's a whole nother scene that I never even put into this adventure. But I'm like, wait, here's how we can do it. Here's how we can have it tied up everything else. Here's who we can have show up there. Um, like I don't know if like all these mutants all at one place, like scary. Like I don't know how you talk about that, you know? Um, but yeah, we'll have to figure it out. I think bringing Weaver was interesting because I didn't really know how Weaver worked within everyone else. Totally different character, 100% different character.
Yeah.
Climbing through the sewers on the ceiling, like the
Your pincher is, or your oh my gosh, words have escaped me after 10 o'clock, apparently. Stabby thing.
Yeah. Oof. I mean,
Serious.
I guess I've read it, but it didn't really sink in. Yeah, it's.
that
But it's sort of like the earlier comment that if I could go back, I would make him my primary character because the other one, well, I thought it was kind of cool to have a guy who was like financial corporate type stuff. His skills have never once really been the right choice for the scene. Um,
okay. I
so
think that
yeah,
might be on my fault because forensic, um, where you follow the money, that skill
yeah,
is my favorite skill in the game.
Accounting.
Yeah, forensic accounting is my favorite skill in the game, and I'm like, there are. I know there's two more places in this campaign that you badly need that skill. But you're right, like that's not an exciting skill, you know. Like I get that.
yeah.
Um, that's why I needed to make traffic shine somehow. So that's interesting. Like maybe you guys just switch who you're using for your main characters. Like you switch to Weaver. Well, you Brickhouse was your main character anyway. The Hound's been good. We can get your second character made easily enough. In
Cool.
Night or Lilacs, we haven't really seen Lilacs truly in action yet. You know, just this one scene, that's all we've seen so far.
Yeah, I would say, probably people who've played the system before would know this better, but it really doesn't work the best to make like an antisocial character in this. Like everyone kind of needs to have some social skills because they're just so useful. And if you don't have them, it really limits what you can do.
Yeah, like you really need to like if you break off in pairs, you definitely have to like, okay, you're the person who talks to people, and then you're the person that finds all the clues, you know. And then whatever clues we find, we take it back to the person who's the science person, who's back at the office, you know. But it's been interesting. I've been having a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, same here. Same
Yeah,
here.
I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, right on. So then in 2 weeks, we will have a riot or we won't have a riot. And Boy Scout will either escape, turn himself in, or he won't. And we'll find that out in about 2 weeks. All right.
Awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Awesome. See
Yeah,
you on the 11th.
Uh,
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, you said the 11th.
Yeah, that's right, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Let me get it up. 4th to the 11th. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
Yep.
sorry, I faded there a little bit at the end. Got it drove back from Columbus today, and it was a long day.
Oh my God, buddy. Yeah. No. That's how long of a drive is that?
It's
6,
right at
5.
5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
5 to 6. Yeah, it can be 4.5 if everything's perfect, but it's rarely under 5.5. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's always
No.
something.
Not a problem, buddy. No. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a
All
good
right.
night.
Right.
Bye.